Hey everyone, and welcome to our Explainer. Today we're digging into a critical review of a true classic in the adventure genre, Wilbur Smith's Golden Fox. It's a famous Cold War thriller, but the big question is, does it actually hold up today? Well, let's dive in and see.
So here's the central debate, right? Is Golden Fox this incredible action-packed thriller, or is it, kind of formulaic? The review we're looking at today suggests it might just be a bit of both. So how does that work? Well, to figure that out, we've got to start with the basics, the setting.
All right, first up, Section 1, a Cold War family saga. Before we jump into the good and the bad, we really need to get a feel for the world this book drops us into.
Okay, so Golden Fox is actually the 9th book in this huge, sprawling Courtney family series. It drops us smack dab in the middle of the 1970s Cold War. The action jumps all over the place, from a really tense South Africa to different parts of Europe. And what it does is it weaves this big personal family drama into a whole web of international spy games. It's a pretty potent mix, and you can tell the stage is set for some serious action.
Okay, on to Section 2, the cinematic strengths. Look, every mixed review has its high points, right? So let's talk about what this critique says the book totally nails.
The book's biggest strength by far is its sheer pace and spectacle. The review really praises the super vivid, you-are-there descriptions of apartheid-era South Africa and the revolutionary movements of the time. This historical backdrop leads into these really intense, almost movie-like action scenes. We're talking a massive climax with daring rescues and even chemical weapon threats. It's that classic, can't-put-it-down kind of plot that Wilbur Smith is famous for.
But. And there's always a but, isn't there? For all that awesome, high-octane action, the story apparently stumbles in some pretty crucial areas. And that brings us to Section 3, the narrative weaknesses. This is where the review really starts to sink its teeth in.
Right off the bat, the review points to what it sees as the book's single biggest problem, the characters. You've got the heroine, Isabella. She goes from being this romantic dreamer to a super spy, and the review just finds that transformation totally unbelievable. She feels more like a tool to move the plot forward than an actual person. And on the other side, you have the villain, Ramon, the Golden Fox himself. He's cruel, he's cunning, but he's also just your typical Cold War bad guy, a flat stereotype without any real depth or interesting motivations.
And that lack of depth, it doesn't just stop with the characters. It kind of spills over into the whole worldview of the book. Everything is very black and white. The Courtney family, they're the good guys, the heroes, no question. The communists, they're just purely evil and destructive. This approach just completely sidesteps all the complicated, messy political realities of the Cold War and boils it all down to a simple good versus evil story.
And yeah, the critique keeps going. The plot itself gets called out for being pretty formulaic, following a well-worn path without a lot of surprises. The writing style is described as just straightforward, nothing fancy, no real literary flair. And apparently there are even spots where the pacing drags because of way too much description or dialogue that doesn't really need to be there.
So, you've got the amazing action on one side and these narrative flaws on the other. Where does the reviewer land? What's the final call? Let's get to Section 4 and check out the final verdict.
And there you have it, 3 out of 5. It's fine. It's a solid score, but nothing to write home about, right? And it really captures that central conflict of the review. It's enjoyable because of the action, for sure, but it's held back from being a true masterpiece.
And this quote from the review pretty much says it all. A simple saga without philosophical depth. The characters are flawed, and the narrative lacks suspense. That just nails it, doesn't it? It sums up that feeling perfectly. It's exciting, but at the end of the day, the weak characters and the by-the-numbers plot just keep it from being something truly great.
So what's the bottom line here? Who is this book actually for? Well, according to the review, if you're already a fan of the Courtney series or you're just in the mood for a quick, straightforward action thriller and you don't mind a familiar story, Golden Fox is probably going to hit the spot. But if you're looking for something with deep characters, political nuance, or literary complexity, yeah, this review pretty much says you might want to look elsewhere.
And that really leaves us with a great question for you, doesn't it? When you grab a thriller off the shelf, what do you really want? Are you all about that non-stop cinematic action? Or do you need those deep, complex characters to really pull you in and get you invested? It's the main tension in this whole review, and honestly, it's something every fan of the genre probably thinks about.